Hello and welcome in, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us as we continue our Fall Career Quest series. My name is Hong Win, and I'm from the Careers and Professional Development team here at WGU. And I'm especially excited to introduce today's two guest speakers. We're joined by two wonderful leaders in the food industry, Danny Cabrera, who is the Retail District Manager at Seder Bros, who does great work, and Marty has sung a lot of praises about him. And of course, we're joined by Marty McFadden, who is the Senior Director of Sales at Dairy Farmers of America and also a proud WGU alum. Marty was originally connected through my colleague Sam here, and they had great conversations, and Sam quickly saw what a strong supporter Marty was of the WGU community and the next generation of professionals. So today they'll be sharing a little bit about their journey in this dynamic sector, the leadership opportunities that it holds, and how driven professionals can make a step into a field that has a real impact. So with that, Marty and Danny, we're so glad you're able to join us here today, and I will pass things over to you.
All right. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. As Hung said, my name is Marty McFadden with Dairy Farmers of America. Welcome to all the WGU students and all the alumni out there. I had my WGU journey a few years ago, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that. But really, I'm honored really just to represent Dairy Farmers of America, DFA, but also represent the broader food industry, which Danny and I are very involved in. It really is a great industry, and really today, just for us to share our experience and let you know that, hey, open your eyes to there are definitely some really great careers out there, and probably more than you think about today, right? When you think about the food industry, you're probably thinking about grocery stores and factories. There's a lot more to it than that. So we're going to jump in. And so let's go to the agenda. So for today, here's what we want to cover. We want to really explain why the food industry is so great and what are the reasons why. And Danny and I will go over our industry, career, and education journeys just so you can see kind of how we have experienced this. I'll share different career paths and success factors to the food industry. And then we want to provide you with a number of different options for career source resources within the industry and then within our companies with DFA and with Stainer Brothers. So go ahead to the next slide. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. So I'm here in Southern California. I work for Dairy Farmers of America. I'm part of I work out of an Altadena dairy plant here in Southern California. I'm a sales guy for the Western states. I lead our selling agenda. So I've had over 30 years in the food industry. So a lot of different experiences. It all started going to Cal Poly Pomona after college. So I graduated with a bachelor degree in business administration, and I found an opportunity with Frito-Lay. Frito-Lay had a management training program right out of college, joined directly after graduation. And really, I got to learn the business from the ground up. And that's one thing you learn with the industry is there's a lot to learn. And it really does help to learn it from the ground up or to experience it from the ground up. So went through the training program, became a district manager, started calling on customers as a key account manager. That led eventually to me running a market and leading a group of district managers and sales reps in Southern California. Learned a lot, grew a lot, really learned the essentials of leadership and how do you build capability and skills within the team. From there, I had the opportunity to lead a key account manager team across a customer team across the Western states with Hostess brands. So, really that experience broadened my view of just Southern California to the whole Western states. It put me instead of calling on stores, I'm calling on headquarters. and I'm meeting with buyers and VPs, and really stretched me from a leadership standpoint. Then most recently, 13, almost 14 years ago, I joined Dairy Farmers of America at Altadena. And through those years, I've held various sales director, business development roles, and now group sales director supporting our Western states. I support our Altadena brands as well as our Meadow Gold brands, everything west of Colorado. During that time, I had a couple educational opportunities. So as I said, I went to Cal Poly Pomona, got my bachelor's. I got that done young, but there was really, I saw the opportunity for me to expand my education. So I got the opportunity to attend the USC Food Industry Management Program. So this is a program that is sponsored by the Western Association of Food Chains, WAFC, which I'll talk more in later on. And it was a semester-long, intense program at the University of Southern California, full broad spectrum of classes, projects, culminating with a capstone presentation. And that experience really pushed me and stretched me and opened my eyes to, hey, there's more out there. And one of the goals that I had coming out of the USC program was I want to get my MBA. And as I did my research and I was looking at different options, the local universities, man, well, they were expensive, and I had to be there, one night a week. And I remember when I was doing that, I remember back a year or two before that I was at the WAFC convention, the Western Association of Food Chains. And I remember they had an advertisement in one of the breaks for WGU. And I thought, I remember this. So did some research, found it, and it was perfect. It fit my budget, it fit my lifestyle, my work schedule. And in 2019, I graduated with my MBA. And from there, both of those experiences between USC and WGU really, in the end, it made me a better leader. I'm more valuable to DFA, and hopefully I will continue to deliver more for our organization because of that extended education. All right. So let's talk about the retail food industry. So we're focused on retail. We're not talking about food service. So if you look at the total retail food industry, it's a big business, nearly $1 trillion in sales, 6.3 million jobs out there. And this is for the retail side as well as the food manufacturer, CPG, consumer packaged goods business. And it represents 4% of U.S. jobs. So it's a big industry. Next slide, Hong. So when you think about the food industry, you might just think about, okay, we have raw materials coming from farms or from other sources. That gets to a manufacturing plant, it gets to a warehouse and distribution, and gets out to retail and is merchandise. You might think of that on the surface. That's the industry supply chain. But really, there's a lot more. You go down a level deeper, under the surface, and you look at the different activities and functions that are there. I tried to make a list of everything I could think of that supports this supply chain, and it's extremely deep and wide. So the great thing about this industry is there's going to be opportunities, regardless of what your background is. I think there's opportunities that could fit a lot of people's career aspirations. Next slide. So as we mentioned about building bold careers in the food industry, there are multiple career paths. And in fact, there's some people that have gone between one and the other, but retail grocery, there's a lot of different opportunities there across the country. Consumer packaged goods, you'll hear the word CPG. That's going to be food and beverage manufacturers. And there's a ton of third-party service and product providers, ingredient providers that are connected to this industry. So as you do your search, you might run into those other opportunities out there that are not necessarily directly related to, or not in those retail or CPG. And again, and there's also some folks that have made their way between 1, 2, or 3 of these different sectors within the career paths. So I shared this, that the food industry, there is an education and leadership gap within the industry. And here's really 2 reasons for that. One is from an education standpoint, we have a lot of folks that came out of high school and got a job at the local store, or got a job as a sales rep at a local food manufacturer. And they found themselves in a great career, and they never went to school. They never went on to college. And so there's a lot of those folks that are trying to develop their career there. And I think WGU is a great path for those folks. WAFC has some other options. Also, from a leadership standpoint, we have a lot of folks that have been in the industry a long time, or are getting really close to retirement. So I believe in the next 5 years or so, there's going to be a lot of opportunities for folks in the food industry for strong, really that opportunity for strong leaders and also functional experts. The last thing I'll share about why about the food industry is, unlike certain industries that are centralized in a few hubs around the country, the food industry is a decentralized industry. There are job locations nationwide. Regardless of where you're sitting right now, I guarantee you there's opportunities nearby in this industry. Next slide. So here's the top 10 reasons why the career in the food industry is awesome. So number 1, it's a people-powered industry. We need great leaders. So if you like working with people, a lot of people, and influencing and developing people, that's great. We mentioned this extensive job functions. There's really a lot of different paths you can take in the industry. It's again, I said, deep and wide. Our industry thrives on innovation and creativity. There's a lot of innovative things happening in the industry, and there's also things that need to be innovated and upgraded. So there's an opportunity for those that are great at new ideas. We've had a lot of folks in the industry that have had long-term careers in 1, 2, or 3 different companies. So it does have the potential for long-term career growth. As I mentioned before, we have national, oh, by the way, we have global reach. The food industry touches everywhere in the country as well as overseas. It's not boring. The food industry is fast-paced and dynamic, so there's not a dull day. Every day is different, but it is there's a lot of the days, the weeks, and the months go by way too fast. We also we do a lot of purpose-driven work. So if you think about the food industry, we feed our communities, we support our communities. So we are definitely, every company that in this industry, including DFA and Stater Brothers, we are committed to serving our communities. As I mentioned before, there's a lot of advancement opportunities, and I'll mention this later, but there's a lot of folks that will move cross-functionally and learn the business, not just you go directly up in sales or operations, but we have folks that can move between functions, and the more functions they learn, the more they get cross-trained in other functions, the more valuable they are. Because it really, the higher up you get, you have to have that broader view of the organization. You get to daily, we have opportunities for cross-functional collaboration. We don't work in silos. We work across multiple functions daily. So that's great. And then this industry is very competitive, and we are results driven. So if you like to get stuff done and get results, this is a great industry. And then I got one more reason on the next slide: food. Everybody loves food. I know I do. Just looking at this slide makes me really hungry. Who wouldn't want to be in an industry that gets to share food and enjoy food with the world? Right? So we talked about food industry career locations. I found this online. This is a map with different, it's just retailer, approximate locations. But you see we're everywhere, right? The food industry is everywhere. And I had a difficulty plotting the CPG companies on there, but if you added those, it would be, you wouldn't be able to see any of the US. So there's opportunities in retail stores, distribution centers, regional offices, manufacturing plants, national headquarters, and probably mostly for the CPG side, there are definitely opportunities for remote opportunities. Okay. So we mentioned the career paths. So this is just a short list of different career path opportunities. So on the left is CPG, on the right is retail. And as I mentioned before, a lot of folks find the benefit in moving not just vertically, but horizontally within functions and cross-training and learning different areas. I don't think there's a lot of industries that have that same type of opportunity, right? There's a lot of industries that are more siloed, and you work in a building or you work in an office that's focused on information technology, and you really don't get to interact or work with the other functions within the organization. So you can see here's a short list. It's there's a lot to it, a lot more than you might think. Okay, next slide. Okay, so here are success factors for food industry career. So what are the things that really are necessary for a successful career in the food industry? And what I'll do is I'll start with the bottom row. So these four, I think, are kind of the foundation, right? The must-haves, the non-negotiables. If you don't have these as part of your your wheelhouse, work ethic, attention to detail, integrity, adaptability, and resilience, those are really critical because, hey, we work hard in this industry, and we don't have a lot of room for sloppiness. We do not accept anything that isn't done with integrity. And there is a lot of change in this industry. As I said, it's very dynamic. Things change. There's some things that never change, but there's a lot of times change happens, and it happens quite rapidly. So you got to be adaptable and move through those things. The next level up, think of this as a hierarchy of development. The next level up is around problem solving, being a great communicator, and focused on the customer, right? You're doing a job. You really got to think about how does this impact our customer? Because in the end, without our customers, we don't have anything, because we won't have any revenue. The next level up is around collaboration and creativity and innovation. Because we don't work in silos, we work side by side with our cross-functional partners. You got to be able to collaborate, and there's times when you're not going to agree. That's a skill that is essential in this industry. You got to be able to work through problems together, and also find creative and innovative solutions. And finally, servant leadership. I'm sure any of you that have taken any leadership courses or business courses, you've heard about servant leadership. And really, this is the leader that is not just giving their employees what they want; it's giving them what they need and serving them from a leader standpoint. Really, it's about serving them and being honest and direct with their employees and serving them in their leadership and their growth. So this is from my perspective what it takes to be successful in the food industry. All right, with that, I am going to hand it over to Danny Carrera, and let him give you an overview of his career in the retail grocery side of the business.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Danny Cabrera. I am proud to serve as a district manager for Stater Brothers Markets. I've been with Stater Brothers now for 25 years. I actually started my career as a courtesy clerk, entry level. So hearing everything that Marty said today, I could kind of see why he asked me to be part of this webinar, is because it's a true statement of what can be accomplished within this organization. So I just want to share a little bit about my journey, how I got started, the role that education played along the way, and then what continues to drive me forward in this industry. Like I said, 25 years is a long time, and I want to be able to share that experience with you guys as well. So I'm glad to be part of this with the WGU. So let me get right into it. I began my career, like I said, as a courtesy clerk with Stater Brothers Markets. It was one of those things where I wanted to just get some gas money, just to kind of, hang out with my friends. And I was 17 years old when I first got into the company, and that turned into a lifelong career, not realizing all the opportunities that were available to us. I spent my early years on the sales floor, understanding what the business is all about. And I know Marty alluded to that, and that's people. It's really a people business. Without that aspect of it, there is no, grocery retail industry. And then I've had a lot of mentors along the way that taught me the value of teamwork, the importance of showing up, and just being ready to serve at any given day. I didn't realize it at the time, but that was probably the foundation that set the stage for my future roles that I've held within the company. I grew pretty much in every single position. I was a student of the business. I wanted to learn as much as possible. I asked to go to all different areas of the market, from stock crew to the produce department, meat department, cashier, and then eventually that led to key carriers, which is like a form of management, assistant manager and store manager. Pretty much, if you name the role, I've held it at one point in time in that 25 years. And that's allowed me to kind of really enjoy what I do day in and day out. It's not easy. It's definitely not an easy career, but there's a lot of valuable things that I've learned along the way. And just being able to lift people up and mentor them as well has been very impactful. And I think that's what's driving me here today, is just being able to share that, and the joy that we get from being able to see others grow within their career and get opportunities that doors open up. It's huge. That's so impactful. But that also, like Marty mentioned, I started off when I was an assistant as a courtesy clerk. I didn't attend college right after high school. I just was career driven. I wanted to try to make as much money as possible. But then I got to a point in my career where I was like, man, I really want to do more, and I have the capability. And that's when I started looking into resources and education. And luckily, Stater Brothers is a champion of education, and we do partner with the WAFC as well. And they have a RMC program. Actually, it's a retail management certificate. And at the time when I took it, it was 10 courses. And I actually, one class at a time, that allowed me to get that confidence to get back into school, because it's been a little while since I attended college. And then once I accomplished that, that just opened the doors. I said, man, I want to continue my education. And that opened the door for me to go to the USC Food Industry Executive Program, which is a 4-day version of the FIM program at USC. And as soon as I did that, my eyes just were so wide open. And I was like, man, I really want to continue my education. And that's when I joined WGU. And I wanted to get my bachelor's degree because I knew how important education was for me to continue my career. And just having that under my belt has allowed me to sharpen my skill sets that I've learned through experience. I think there needs to be a balance between the two. It's not always just about one or the other, but if you could combine the two, the possibilities are endless. And within this organization, I've been able to have different opportunities open up that I don't think I would have had just on my own. So I'm grateful for that. This is why I enjoy doing what I do. and just being able to give back. And there's different resources along the way that have helped me in my career. And I think it's just amazing to have that. So just to close it up, the food industry is full of opportunity and growth. It brings being passionate to be part of this organization. The willingness to learn has to be a component of it. And there's really no limit to where you could go. Actually, one of our old presidents of Stater Brothers, he started off as a janitor, and he's progressed his way all the way through to the president of Stater Brothers Markets. And hopefully one day that's I'll be able to have that same story and leave that legacy back behind too. So I appreciate you guys' time today, and any questions, we're more than happy to answer at the end. Thank you.
Danny, thank you very, very much. That was awesome. So a few more slides here. So I mentioned about purpose, the purpose of our purpose-filled work, and really think about how we give back. And this is just a short list of organizations that the food industry supports. And so it's really cool, because a lot of times we get involved, we get to go to different events, or we get to be involved in that. I know DFA and Stater Brothers has their own charities, but this industry is very giving. It is very giving and very involved. And so that's really awesome. So another reason why we totally like love this industry. Next slide. Mentioned the WAFC. So we have some really great organizations. Probably the best one we work with is WAFC. And so Western Association of Food Change started in 1921. It represents 7,500 supermarkets at $200 billion in sales. The primary mission is to provide education and leadership opportunities to the industry. And as we mentioned, the education gap, they figured this out back in 1921, that there was an education gap in the industry. And I don't have a list of people impacted, but it's thousands and thousands of people, including Danny, including myself, that have been impacted by the work done by WAFC to advance the food industry through education and leadership. And then if you look at the education initiatives down there, so Danny mentioned the retail management certificate, the USC food industry management program. That's what Danny and I have been involved in, and Danny also was involved in the executive program. But one of the other educational initiatives is Western Governors University, so WGU. And as I mentioned, that's where I learned about this at a WAFC convention. So the partnership is working, and I think it can be stronger. And that's why I agreed to do this webinar after talking to Sam and Hong. I think that is what we're all here for. And so the more we can do to work together and serve each other's goals, I think that's great. Next slide. All right, QR code time, guys. Get your phones out, turn on your cameras. We're going to provide you with a couple different resources. So there's two different search boards that we found online that are pretty good. I've been through them before, and the one is Careers in Food, and the other one is Careers in Grocery. And I think a lot of companies in the industry use these boards away from. It's more folks, instead of going to LinkedIn or to Indeed or whatever. I think these are really more specific to these industries. So definitely grab those QR codes and save those, bookmark those websites. We'll give everyone a second before we advance to the next slide. Okay, should be good. Go ahead and move to the next slide. So Danny and I are going to share about our own companies. So Dairy Farmers of America, DFA, we are the largest supplier of milk globally. We are a dairy cooperative owned by 9,500 dairy farmers. So what that means is that our dairy farmers own the company. They are our owners. And what our mission is as within DFA, the organization's mission, the cooperative, is to deliver value to our family farmer owners. The cooperative provides services and marketing of the milk for our dairy farmers. Also, the cooperative has commercial businesses, including Altadena. You can see the brands down below across the country: Altadena, Meadow Gold, Oak Farms. I heard Houston was on the call. So we are national. We produce, so we use the milk from our dairy farmers to make fresh, extended shelf life and aseptic milk, cultured dairy such as cottage cheese, sour cream, ice cream, yay ice cream, cheese and butter. So really good stuff. And we have multiple offices, manufacturing facilities, and depots across the country. And so there are career opportunities nationwide. Again, QR code time. Get your phones out. Click on the that QR code to learn more about careers at Dairy Farmers of America. Give everyone a second. And then next, I will hand it over to Danny to talk about Stater Brother careers.
Yeah, Stater Brothers Markets is all in Southern California. We have a rich legacy within Southern California, which is our headquarters is in San Bernardino. We've probably been working and operating for 89 years. We operate 168 supermarkets across 7 different counties. We have approximately about 18,000 employees. We're one of the largest privately owned grocery chains in Southern California. So that's a big testament to who we are, and we have a commitment to being fresh, affordable, and community first. I know Marty mentioned we do like giving back to the communities, whether it's through our charities organization or just different things that we do to support our local neighborhoods. And it's been a great career, great company to work for. So like you said, we are only in Southern California. I know there's some people that are out of state on this, but this is something to look into, for future reference. That's a great opportunity to grow your career or get that experience or education along the way. So we would be happy to have people who are interested in that aspect of it.
All right. Very good. Thanks, Danny, for covering that. So, hey, if you want to connect with us on LinkedIn, QR code time. They should work. Click on these QR codes, and you should be able to connect to my profile or Danny's profile. And anything, and really, for everybody on this call, really anything we can do to guide you, we'll accept your request to connect. Anything we can do to guide you along the way. I definitely have, Danny and I will have definitely step up to give you guidance, give you some feedback, and kind of what you think. What opportunities you might have, or what direction you might want to go. All right, and we have finished our prepared slides. With that, we got plenty of time to open it up for Q&A. So awesome. I will defer to Hong to maybe go through the chat and ask me or Danny your great questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Marty and Danny. That was a lot of good insight, a lot of great information to what is all encompassing in the food industry and all the opportunities there. So we'll go ahead and move over to the Q&A portion of the session. Feel free to drop your questions in the chat. Just make sure you keep them focused on today's topic so that they do benefit the entire group. If you'd like to come off mute, you can go ahead and raise your hand and we'll pass the mic over to you. And if you think of a question later on, like Marty mentioned, please feel free to connect with Marty and Danny on LinkedIn. You can message them on there, or you can email us as well, and we'll make sure to facilitate that question over. So going through the chat here, lots of great engagement. Thank you so much for all the thoughtful comments, and a lot of comments of thanks as well. Let's see here. We got one from Sam. For Danny and Marty and Sherry, how are you all seeing tech and IT, specifically AI, integrate into your daily work or support the work of your teams? Can you talk about the data usage in grocery/food as well? I imagine that has really changed the game.
I'll share. So from an IT standpoint, a data and AI standpoint, so one thing about our industry is there's a lot of data, and there's a lot of processes that happen in the background between orders and between everything that we do to fulfill orders and to supply customers, and just how our plants and distribution operate. So there's a lot of data that we need. We're getting into, so we have a very deep staff of IT professionals in different functions. We also are getting into AI, but I think we're still in the learning mode. I don't think we're in the application mode as much. So it's essential for our business.
Yeah, I agree, Marty. AI is a valuable tool that we're starting to utilize just for data management, just be more efficient was what we do as a company. But at the end of the day, the people aspect is you can't replicate that through AI at all. And I think that's where we are going to have that long future ahead of us. But yeah, there is tools that we are looking into, whether it's for order writing or managing inventory, or even just in managing, day-to-day operations, just to help drill down and identify potential areas that might be more efficient for us to focus on. But yeah, I think AI is going to be a part of what we do. I don't think we're ever going to not kind of collaborate with that, but at the end of the day, the people aspect of it is still huge.
Thank you for your question, Sam. I see some hand raised, so I'll take one more question in the chat and then I will pass it over to LaQuerl. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, but going back to the...
I think Cherie, did you want to chime in there?
Oh, yes, I can get you. Let's see real quick here. Cherie, pass the mic over to you. All right.
Okay.
Perfect.
Great. I really loved the questions about AI, and I also loved earlier when some people were pointing out that so much of our industry is resistant to AI. And I'm going to key off of what Danny said, because there are a lot of areas in our companies where AI is going to be used. Even when you think about our front line, both inside stores and when you think about warehouses and manufacturing areas, there's a lot of opportunity to automate. But the more college you get and the more you become focused on the human skills, the servant leadership, the qualities that will keep you from being outsourced, keep your job from being outsourced. And the more you look at those frontline jobs that could be replaced by AI and help the people that are in those jobs move up and into jobs that will be resistant from it. It's all about the people.
I love that. Thank you so much for that, Cherie. Next question here. Could you speak more to the compliance opportunities? I have an MBA and a CHC healthcare base. What would the food industry be looking for?
So from a compliance, we are a very, a very regulated industry, at least from the dairy side, food compliance, safety compliance, labor compliance. There's a definitely we do have a lot of folks that are involved in that. So there's no way we can not have a strong team in that area. So yeah, there's in the food industry, I guarantee there's going to be opportunities with across the industry.
Yeah, and then compliance piece is always evolving too. So just having people who are up to date to what the current laws and current efficiencies are, it's always beneficial to any organization. So, um, like Marty said, there's compliance is a big component to what we do day in and day out.
Awesome. And I'll pass the mic over here to Laquero. Let me get you unmuted here, and then you should be able to ask your question.
Hi, thank you so much for the opportunity. My name is Laquel Mosey, and I have my bachelor's in accounting from Texas Southern University, and I'm also studying my MBA in IT management here at WGU. And I was trying to figure out how I can get my foot in the door in this industry, in the management role. I'm currently looking for something in Houston, Texas, or anything remote.
Well, I'll share from a DFA standpoint. So our one of our headquarter locations is in Dallas. We do have one of our markets and our plants is in Houston. And you mentioned that did you say IT was your
Yes.
background? Yeah,
Yes.
IT, yeah.
Yes.
And accounting, right? So
Yes.
so we have decentralized accounting systems, meaning that we do accounting at the location level. So Oak Farms has its own accounting processes and team involved. So we are a very decentralized business. So there could be opportunities there, and I can definitely connect you with the right people and see if there's opportunities that fit your skill set.
All right. Sounds great. Thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your question there. Timothy, I do see your question here on AI, and we did touch a little bit on that. So if you need any clarification or have a follow-up question, feel free to drop that in the chat. We'll take the next one here from Jennifer. What types of entry-level roles are the best way to get started in the food and supply chain industry?
Well, I'll start from a CPG standpoint. Probably the most probably the best way to join the industry is in a sales role or potentially in a plant manufacturing role. I think from my experience, I know a lot of folks that start out of high school or start out of college and got a sales role within a company. And there's a lot, and they're all over the place. No matter where you're sitting right now, there's definitely a lot of opportunities out there.
Yeah, from the retail side, there's plenty of positions that are open for stores. Just getting to understand the operations and the different components that are involved is going to help the longevity of your career and what you want to take from it. Like I said, I started off at bagging groceries, and I think that was a great component to learn, which had led me to want to grow within the company. We hire directly into entry level. We hire directly into service departments, which is like the service deli, the meat, the produce, the bakery departments. The only thing we don't hire directly to is for management positions. That's something that you have to have learned some of those skill sets along the way and then grow into those positions. So just getting your foot in the door, I think this is the best way to get started. And then the possibilities are endless. It's what you want to make of it and how much time and effort you want to put into it as well, too.
Thank you, Jennifer, for that question. Next one here from Timothy. If you were an all-powerful king of the industry, what is one thing you would change now?
I think for me, it comes down to elevating leadership skills within the organization. I think in really making that a priority of building, between education and just um, internal training and it's got to be across the board, every level. That frontline leadership training that I went through early in my career was critical. When I was at Frito-Lay, it was something that we all went through together and we all kind of talked the same language. So something that, um, you know, at DFA, we go through a weekly culture of excellence session with our direct team. And it's really that you get everybody on the same page and you get that common language. And, because we've all experienced bad managers, and bad managers are toxic to the organization. We can't have any. We cannot have any bad managers or bad leaders. So having that, elevating the skill set of the leadership team from top to bottom, I think is essential.
Yeah, I totally agree with Marty on that one. I think leadership is a very important aspect of what we do. Just the awareness behind all the resources and education that's available to our teammates along the way. I think that's critical. I didn't see these resources till later on in my career, and I think we're doing a lot better job now, just opening up all these doors to individuals who want to take advantage of what's available. And then just showcasing like we are today, just the more we could do that, share our stories with different individuals. Hopefully that inspires people to want to do more and be part of our organizations.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Marty and Danny. Next question here from Jay Brown. Are there large-scale projects or needs around project management in this space? I previously worked on the infrastructure side of retail store setups.
Yeah. But I mean, this, at least from our standpoint, every year we have different major projects that we're working on that we need someone, a dedicated resource for. I don't know exactly how much of a scale that is and opportunities are. But yeah, there's definitely that those availabilities. I think that. So one piece of advice for everybody, if you're looking for a career in this industry, is networking is critical. And the cool thing about this industry, I'll tell you that, is we are open to connecting with people and helping people. It's a matter of finding a company or a job or seeing a job out there. You apply for the job and it just goes, and you don't see anything happen. You got to take a different route. You got to find people that are close to those jobs and that you can connect with on LinkedIn or connect with at an industry event and get to know people. And once you know one and you know the next one, and figure out where you want to go, figure out what's attractive to you, and then get involved and do the work to you can find people out here that will, hey, will you spend 15 minutes on the phone with me? Because I need to figure out how to get a project management job in the industry. If they don't know who to help, how to get you there, they could figure out how to get you somebody. I think I got 700 people I'm connected with on LinkedIn. I don't know how, but I know a lot of people, and Danny knows a lot of people. And so the food industry is well connected, and you got it. But I think it's a different approach. You got to do the work. You got to meet people, and they can help you to find those positions that you're really interested in.
Yeah, getting your foot in the door is always a key component, and working your way towards what your ultimate goal is as far as career levels. I know Stater Brothers, for us, what we do promote a lot from within internally. Even including IT, and whether it's construction, we have our own security department, we have our own finance department, we have our own human resources department. So the possibilities are endless, and just because you're from the stores, they have the same amount of opportunity to be able to get that experience in those departments and work their way up towards the fields that they're looking for.
Awesome, thank you. We'll give a couple more minutes. If you have any other questions, please drop that in the chat. I also did post our survey feedback form. It's just 2 questions. If you could fill that out, it helps us continue to bring great sessions like these to the WG community. We also shared Marty's and Danny's LinkedIn for further connections, so feel free to check that out as well. Next one here, a follow-up from CC question. On the compliance opportunities, I currently run the hospital pharmacy compliance program, and I think the skills would translate very well. Highly regulated field. Are there food industry specific certifications that would make a candidate stand out?
I'm sure there are. I don't know. I'm a sales guy, but yeah, we can try to. Oh, Sheree, you want to share something, Sheree?
Sure. Probably the most well-known certificate in our industry for people who are jumping into a career, for sure on the retail side, but I think in every facet of our industry, would be the retail management certificate that Danny spoke of. It was beginning of his education pathway that led him to WGU. And our partnership is so strong with WGU that people who earn the retail management certificate in the industry get special scholarships and tuition discounts even from WGU. It is well known by the leaders in the industry because of the impact it has helping people get promoted. Twice as many promotions, 3 times more likely to be a store director or above. And when somebody said, how do we jump in at entry level? And Danny pointed out there are a lot of jobs in a store, but you don't want to stay there. The fastest way to get promoted is to pursue a relevant certificate. But if you're already at WGU, you're already working on a bachelor's degree level, you can still get the retail management certificate at a community college, but no matter what, higher education is the key.
Thank you so much, Sheree, for that. Any other questions? And I can mention, feel free to connect with our speakers on LinkedIn, or you can always email us as well. I don't see any other questions here in the chat. Oh, here's one more. What are some good transitional opportunities within the larger food sector for someone who has spent many years in high volume food service leadership?
So I will speak from the CPG side. So in fact, we just hired somebody from the food industry, food service industry, into a sales management role at one of our locations. So they came from a broadliner. So there's definitely a lot of overlap in that. And although, we have, we have business in the retail side, we also have, most CPG companies have a certain amount of business in food service. And I would tell you that there's probably an opportunity for more folks to come in to CPG companies that have that food service experience, because it's a different animal, right? It works differently. And sometimes we treat that business just like we treat retail, and it's not the same. There's different priorities. So yeah, I think it's, I think it'd be important to look for companies that operate in that sector, because then you'll be more valuable.
Yeah, and just having that experience, that background, it's going to open up more doors. Like Marty mentioned, there's a lot of people who are getting towards that age of retirement, and there's opening opportunities for, for us to look for individuals who have that experience that could slide in, where we could teach some of the day-to-day operations, and they kind of have an understanding of what it takes to be successful and within the organizations.
Thank you for that question, Fernando. I don't see any other questions, so we'll go ahead and conclude today's session. Thank you all so much for joining and for the thoughtful questions and engagement. Do keep an eye out for that follow-up email. We'll include this recording along with that quick survey, and we'd love your feedback. You'll also be able to find the recording on our YouTube channel, Make sure you check out Handshake for upcoming sessions as well. And of course, we'd like to extend a big WGU thank you to you, Marty and Danny, for sharing your expertise, your encouragement, and your personal journey with our community. Your commitment to giving back and supporting others is truly inspiring, and we're so grateful for your time and that we got to learn from you about the wonderful food industry. So thank you again, everyone. We look forward to seeing you at another Quest session soon. Until then, take care and have a great rest of your week. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.